broadcast live on Facebook and by the Dover-Sherburne Cable Television. Accordingly, please be aware not to share your screens. Everything that you are showing will be recorded. Anything you broadcast will be captured. Remember to mute your computer and please identify yourself when asked to speak. For a quorum this evening, I am going to ask people in attendance to please be recognized. I'm John Jeffries, Chair, Board of Selectmen. Robin?
Robin Hunter, present.
Dave Havlin?
Present.
Michael Blanchard and Chris Costello are here. Carol Lisbon is joining us. And I don't see anyone else. Chris, do we have any public comments? Anyone asked to be recognized prior to the meeting?
None prior to the meeting, and I'm not seeing any comments currently with us right now.
Terrific. All right. Well, can we move to our first item of business this evening? And a discussion and a vote on the contract between Dover and Iron Horse Structures for the construction of the Department of Public Works salt shed. Michael, you want to give us an update on where we are?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Thanks, John. So as I think the board is familiar by now, DPW is replacing our salt shed. The funding for this was approved in May at town meeting, and it's kind of been a three-part process. The first is that DPW staff itself took on a lot of the initial work, erosion control, demolition, some excavation, some backfill that was needed that reduced the overall cost of the project. We purchased the trusses and the fabric that will be part of the material, also off of procurement. It's called the Sourcewell contract. They do kind of group procurement. So again, we saved some costs there. And then what we're asking you to vote tonight is the contract, excuse me, for the contractor to install the blocks, the structure of the shed, the other, some fencing, things of that nature. So the total at town meeting was $462,300. This contract tonight is for $316,000. If I can, Chris, could you let me share my screen? I was just going to show the progress. I think sometimes it's nice to see a visual. Most people don't probably even know we had a salt shed. But I just want to,
Go ahead.
All set? If I can. So can you see that?
Yeah.
So that's the salt shed that we had. You can see the open space there. That's because it needed to be replaced. We didn't start the demo yet. I'll click through. This was the demo in action again by our DPW staff. This was finishing that off, and then it's out of order. So we'll just click back. And then this is the site now. It is level and ready and waiting for now the contractor.
Construction ready, as they
Construction ready. That's right. So really, really appreciate the work of the DPW and saving quite a bit of cost and doing the work themselves. We have some very talented people down there. I think they were pretty excited to do the work. So with that, I recommend your approval of the contract.
Mike, is this something that the neighbors could do up on Meeting House Hill? They could put this building up? I'm just curious. I want to ask the question.
We might be able to save some more costs there, yes.
There's a lot of people who have familiarity with construction in that neighborhood. Construction going over budget specifically in that neighborhood.
Well, hopefully that's not going to happen here. But
no, it's definitely not.
Kidding aside, and lightning bolts dropping around me, so if I flinch or duck, you'll know why. But I've got no questions, and you know, I just think we ought to thank Kevin and his department for saving the town money, because that's very much appreciated.
right.
Agreed.
And the visuals were great, Mike. That was
Okay.
good to share. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. So if there's, Robin, anything else to add? Are you good with this?
Yeah, I mean, my only issue here is we get asked to shovel dirt to start the Dover Community Center. I would have gladly volunteered to get a sledgehammer, and so tell him next time. But all kidding aside, no, I don't have any questions. Would have been a great way to get rid of some anger.
That is true.
Robin and a sledgehammer. I move to approve the agreement between the Town of Dover and Iron Horse Structures Construction for the Department of Public Works, salt shed, and site improvement. Ask for a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor, I, John Jeffries.
I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
Dave, are you getting giant thunderclaps
Yeah.
and lightning? Yeah.
If you see me flinch, it's literally because it was right there.
Yeah.
So our next item is an appointment, and the cultural council chair, Judy Schultz, is requesting the board appoint Camille Boudreau to the Dover Cultural Council. Camille is a junior at Dover Sherburne High School. The previous student member, Antonio Says, completed the term and has moved on to college. Michael, do we have, I know there was a potential for someone to be with us this evening.
Yeah, Judy was going to try to attend. I don't see her here, so I would recommend you make the appointment. Even though she's not
Okay.
here.
If I may, we're a little out of order. So do we want to do 1, 2, and 1, 3 first, which might take a few minutes? So if they're going to show up at the scheduled time.
Oh, so Dave, sorry, this is 1, 2. You're thinking of
Right.
the planning boards at 5.
Right.
So Dave, I have this as number 2 for me.
Yeah, me
Robin,
too.
is that what you have?
Am I
Right.
looking at the wrong agenda?
Was the salt shed number 1?
Yeah,
Dave.
so that's why I'm like, wait a second.
So John, Judy did write a really nice email.
She did.
And yeah, and she basically said that having a high school student on the council is a really excellent way for the youth to get representation at their meetings and be at the table and making decisions. She said it was really important for new and young people in our town. And she felt that the previous member really made excellent contributions. So
And served as secretary this past year.
right, and served as which
Yeah.
is awesome.
That's really, really, really nice. And thank Judy for writing the email, for following up on this, for continuing the process. I think I'm very excited about this. Dave, are you good? Can we make this motion? And
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I'm ready. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer.
move to appoint Camille Boudreau to the Dover Cultural Council for a 3-year term, ending on June 30, 2027, and ask for a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor, I, John Jeffries.
I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
I'm thinking she'll be in college before her term's up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what happens. A 3-year term, it's really like a 2.5 or 2.25
Right.
year term. So
Right.
that's okay. And our next item of business is the goals and priorities for the fiscal year 2025. And Michael Blanchard is going to bring us up to date on all of our work that we have done these past 2 summers, 2 months this summer, in preparation for our goals and objectives and beginning this year.
He's also going to tell us that everything's been completed and
Well done.
Yeah.
All right,
Touche.
Robin, it's time to wake up from your nap.
I wish that was true, but so before you tonight, as John mentioned, over the last couple of months, you've had planning meetings, and we've reviewed this internally. We believe that we've captured the priority areas, the focus areas, and the suggested key actions. The one thing that we know is not complete, and we're not asking you to do that tonight, is the target completion dates. But what we are looking to do is at least have the other areas, kind of all but final, so that we're in a position to send this out to the various boards and committees for any comments or feedback before you formally adopt them.
Okay.
So tonight would just be a matter of, if you've had a chance to review them, if you think we have captured all that you had hoped to. If there's anything that you thought was missing or needed to be tweaked, again, you still have an opportunity, but we just like to tighten it up before we sent it out if you did have anything this time.
Thank you, Michael. Dave, Robin, anything you would like to add, or any do you have any comments, questions on any of the items?
No, I was looking at it and I was looking at special projects and I was like, that's quite a long list. But I then was thinking about them and many of them are not just a 1 year thing.
Right.
They're going to continue. And then like the community center hopefully will be done. So, again, I just wanted to make sure that your team, Mike, that you feel that these are achievable, because there is a lot in these special projects, because you do have regular day jobs too.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I think we internally noticed that as well, but, they're all really important. And I think that it's important for us to push those through. And as you said, not all of them, just by nature, are necessarily going to be complete. And I think, obviously the board understands that. So, we'll continue to at least move these things forward, hopefully complete as many as we can. But I appreciate you noting that.
Yeah.
Dave, anything you'd like to add?
I'm excited because a lot of this is direct deliverables to the town. And I think that's going to be if we can accomplish a majority of what we've set out, we will have a great year in terms of delivering things to the town.
Yeah, I agree with both. I guess every time you pick it up, for me, every time I pick it up, I look at this and it's such a working document. And I think about it, it's a work in progress. I also think about it, if somebody had looked at our goals and objectives 5 years ago with things like community center and rail trail and municipal light out, they fell off the face of the earth for 5 years and they came back, they would say, what have you people done? You are dealing with the same things that we're dealing with 5 years ago, but they're different. They are the same, but they're very different. The rail trail took years and years of our life to figure out that we couldn't do it the way it was designed to be done, right? And so now we're back at it in a different way with things like zoning and community bylaws and changes that are in front of us that we're working on. Those are continuous work in progress and continuing improvements. Think about Hale. Hale was on our to-do list for 3 or 4 years. So, and may come back. So they are things that we are addressing. They're things that we're making progress on. Sometimes that's hard to believe, but we are making progress. So I agree with you both. And I do think it's a lot, but I do think there's a lot of items in front of us, and there are a lot of good projects here that will make the town better, and improvements everywhere we look. So that's literally our job.
John, it's kind of the Dover way. Do you realize that when we built the Chickering School, it was the second longest outstanding building project in the school building in the history of the program in the Commonwealth?
In the Commonwealth.
So
we have
second
a
longest.
reputation.
We tried to get there, but I think we made up for it, because if you add how long it took us to convert it to a community center, that goes,
27 years, or from beginning to end, 3 generations. Yeah. So there you go. Well, so there's no motion.
No, so no motion. As long as there's just consensus from the board, we'll get this out to boards and committees either tomorrow or Monday, and then be back to you in September with any comments, or feedback we receive. And then at that point, you could make a motion to finalize them.
You know what we might want to consider, Mike, is to make progress, is to look at this each meeting and to determine if there's one item, maybe two small ones that we want to address before our next meeting.
Mhm.
And we don't have to do it every, but like once a month, let's focus on one of these and pick it off.
Hmm.
And just, I mean, randomly, we can just go through it, but
Yeah.
I just don't want us all of a sudden to be, into town meeting season and not really have made substantive progress.
Absolutely. We could keep this as a standing item.
Hmm. Yeah,
Just to
standing
take a look,
review.
what can we do? You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
And maybe Mike pencil it into the selectmen's review, agenda item in our standing meetings and just be able to refer back to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you both. Mike, thanks for that. So our next item of business is number 4, the joint meeting with the planning board
So,
regarding
John,
Point Valerie Lynn. Yes.
I'll just pause you just before you read the whole thing. So that's a timed item for 5 p.m. Unlike the other agenda items are just guidelines. That's an actual timed item.
Got it.
Because
Okay.
to join me. So we can skip it. We can do some of the other items and then come back at 5 o'clock.
Okay. All right. Let's move to the updates, and I can tell you that from the community center standpoint, we had meetings on Tuesday morning, Tuesday evening. There were lots of communications. Mike, do we have an agreed time for Monday that we're going to meet to go over to hear the motions for cost items?
So if 3 o'clock on Monday, which is the 19th, works for everybody, we're good to go for that time.
That works for me, and I know it worked for Robin. I didn't see if Dave had weighed in yet.
Yeah,
Yes,
Dave
I'm all
popped
set.
in person today. That worked
Okay.
for him.
Okay. So we're it seems like we have met so many times this summer, specifically with regards to votes for items from the community center, that it's hard to put into the chronological order of where we all are relative to what we've communicated to our town people that may be watching these meetings recorded. So I can tell you that we are moving as fast as we possibly can, and we are being as prudent as we possibly can with every item relative to the community center. Michael, would you like to add anything to that?
No, just that I appreciate, John, that you've been going in person. I think that's from the team. That's been very helpful to have you there. And we'll keep on this. And thank you to the board for your flexibility in doing these one-off meetings. It's appreciative because anytime we have to delay a vote on these things, it could potentially delay the project, which we're already working through some of those issues, as you know. So I really appreciate your flexibility. And I do anticipate they'll continue to trickle in. So thank you in advance for being willing to do that.
And Mike, it's very helpful to give us some time to look through it so that if we do have questions, we can go back to the committee and ask them, because I know they do a lot of diligence. So I appreciate not having to vote on this today so that we can have some time just to look through it and get some questions answered to make it a little more efficient when we do go over it.
Yeah, and to that point, I know we've talked about before, but just to reiterate, both Dick Malcolm, chair of the committee, and Al Estevez, our owner's project manager, are very willing if anyone wants an offline call or Zoom or meeting to do specific questions, they'd be happy to do that. So don't hesitate to ask.
Okay, all right.
To let everyone know, what I've been doing is going to the PCO meetings on Friday afternoons. So becoming educated that way and learning a lot. And I'm glad we did. It's some of these meetings, I was like, guys, if you need a quick vote, you better get in touch with Mike and get a meet, because we don't meet for when it happened. It was like 3 weeks. So and they needed this like in 3 days. So
yeah,
right.
It's probably worth just reminding everyone that I've been attending the weekly, it's a 3 hour meeting, and it's every Tuesday. It's a standing meeting, and the level
At the
of
site,
detail
right?
on site, right? And the level of detail is staggering. There are always 2 members of the building committee at that meeting. There's been for a couple of months now, myself, Carl Warnick is there every uh, every week. So it is it's well attended, it is thorough, and regardless of the the issue at hand, thing where there are many issues, things are vetted and they are discussed in detail. So and that's a little bit different, Dave, than what you're attending on Fridays, but it's I think for the message to everybody who's watching this is we are putting a lot of time and attention into every single line item in this project. So
And so is the building committee.
yeah, and so exactly, Robin. And I meant we by the
No,
we,
right.
the total we, all of the building committee, the board of selectmen, and I'm sure all of, with the exception this week that there is COVID related non-inspectors in the building, which is, that has to be a bit of an issue. So.
Speaking of
So
which, if I
that's
could just do a quick sidebar, is everyone okay, Mike, in the building department? They have
Oh yeah,
mild
everybody's
cases or are,
okay. Yeah, everyone's fine. We had actually had a partial opening today, and they'll be fully open next week.
okay, as long as everyone's, no one's like gravely ill, then I'm fine.
No, not at all. They're all doing okay.
Good.
great. Robin, anything else you would like to report in terms of updates?
So actually, I don't know what to call it, Mike and Chris, but a outshoot, I guess, of the Dover Housing Partnership has been to create a sustainability committee. And Anna Nagy had offered to take the lead, and she is very, very close to putting together a proposal to present to the Board of Selectmen on what she believes would be the best composition of this committee and who the members are that we should outreach to. And we didn't want to recreate the wheel. So we wanted to ensure that committees that are performing some aspect of sustainability are part of this committee. So we will pick a meeting in September and she will come and make her presentation. But she has really done a heavy lift. She has met with other communities. She's taken what she believes is the best aspects from those communities. And I would be interested to get both of your feedback on the proposal and recommendation that she's going to make to us. So it's going to be pretty exciting, and this will be a standard standalone committee that will no longer be a part of the housing task force. And the housing task force is working on an RFP to go out to the market at some point this month. Again, it's for what we presented at town meeting, and we're really looking to work with a consultant to help bring to the town various types of options for diversification of housing stock. And that would include MBTA potentially and 40B, but more so can we find types of developments that will blend Dover's desires for open space, but at the same time, diversification of housing stock. So we're really looking forward to getting started on that. And there will be a community inclusion piece as we get feedback from various members of the community. And we've been brainstorming about how to ensure the communication aspect of it, how to make sure we hear from everybody, how to ensure that there's no confusion that this is purely MBTA communities or 40B. It really is. And we went back and we looked at the presentation we made at town meeting, and it's really just thinking about what does Dover 30 years from now look like, and is there some kind of multifamily housing that fits in to the Dover, this rural character? And we believe there are options out there. So we're hoping to be able to present things to the town.
Terrific. Thank you. Mike, in just the interest of time, we've got 3 more minutes. Can we just go to the consent agenda? Can we approve those? And then,
We have a meeting schedule, and I don't know if everybody saw that, and I do have an issue with the October 10th date.
oh, okay.
So I will be in Europe that week. So a meeting at 6 is very difficult for me because it's midnight.
Can we move it to do you want to move it to a different time on the 11th? That would be the Wednesday, the 11th. Like
The Wednesday's the 9th.
I'm sorry. Typically Wednesday is before Thursday in most countries.
I wasn't going to say that, but
I'm on the North Pole, so
okay. Right. Well, you are.
It's different up here. So
right.
Typically, yeah. So that would be the
You
9th.
haven't started saying A yet, so we know you're still safe.
There's no English spoken up here at all.
Right. It's Quebec.
Yeah,
How's your French?
Minimal. I have a very juvenile French education, so my 4-year-old niece is helping me with my French. So Robin, what do you Wednesday would you rather do, what are you suggesting?
So I just need, I could do something at around 8 or 9 at night, which would be 2 o'clock here, which doesn't make a lot of sense, or if we could do it the week before or the week after. Or alternatively, I am quite comfortable with you and Dave doing it, just the 2 of you, so long as there's nothing, that we need 3 of us for input.
Right.
John, can you do 2 o'clock on the 10th?
Yes.
Robin, did I get the timing right? It's 2 o'clock?
Yeah, that would be 8 p.m. and that would be perfect.
So why don't we just make the October 10th Thursday meeting at 2 o'clock EST?
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
Similarly, I think I'm going to struggle on the 5th.
It's my birthday. And the question is, do I want a meeting on my birthday? Or do I want to ensure that my family takes me out? Unless you guys want to take me out.
I was going to say,
that's not going to be as good as your family taking you out. You can't fool me. September 5. Everyone open on the 4th, but I'll have the same issue. I just want to say that I believe I will have internet access, but if I don't show up, it's because I don't.
So where is this, December 5th or September 5th?
September.
September.
I can do, yeah. Are you in Europe?
No,
Okay.
I'm going to be in the woods.
Okay.
So
Here.
Are you gonna be there? I could do the 4th if that's helpful for you. Are you there the whole week?
For just a couple of days for sure. So I'm fine with the 5th, but not fine because it's your birthday. So if John,
Oh, that's December 5th.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
oh, oh.
2 months.
Right.
why
I
don't
have
we
2
just go
months to
September
prepare
5th?
myself.
You just can't wait for your birthday. You want that meal out. I'm on to you.
It's the birthday cake that I want.
So, we don't have to move anything then on September 5th. Just know that I plan on being there, but whenever I
Okay.
can't guarantee internet, I will say it.
Okay, so then, maybe we should try and just make sure that the agenda doesn't have anything that might require a whole bunch of discussion. So I would say if there are any PCOs, why don't we try do it the week before or the week after, have a special meeting with that. So.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. And again, if it's a PCO meeting and I cannot make it, please, the two of you, do not
Okay.
slow that building down.
No, we're not going to risk, stalling the project.
Right.
To the
Exactly.
extent we can accommodate people, that's fine.
Exactly.
But then the rest for now are fine. I mean, I do make a pledge not to have it on my birthday, but I may have to be in Europe again, and I'm not quite sure when, so we can
I
leave
make
this.
a pledge.
Yeah, we can,
A
as
plea
always, we
is
can,
what I'm meant to
yeah,
say.
we can move things as they get closer, whatever you need.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, Michael, we'll come back to your update. Let's time-wise, we're on schedule
5:03.
for we're at 5:03, so we're on schedule for the joint meeting. And this is a joint meeting of the planning board to appoint a new member to vacate the planning board's positions with the term to expire May 19th, 2025, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 4111 for Valerie Lynn. Joining us, Carol Lisbon. The summary is, again, to fill the planning board vacated vacancy created by the resignation of Scott Friedman, who moved out of Dover. Planning Board Chair Carol Lisbon requested the Board of Selectmen appoint Associate Member Valerie Lynn to the Planning Board as a full member for the term ending May 19th, 2025. Per Massachusetts General Law, an appointment to fill the unexpected vacancy on an elected board must be voted on at a joint meeting of the elected boards and the Board of Selectmen. Carol, how are you?
I'm good, John. How are you? Or
I'm
should I
fine,
say, muy
thank-
bien?
I like that, Carol.
Carol, your granddaughter could probably teach me more French than I know right now.
Bonjour.
Yeah, right.
Jody, how are you?
Good, thank you. Nice to see you all.
Good to see you. Carol?
Sure, thank you. So first I have to also, because this is a planning board meeting, so I need to take a roll call vote as well. So we do have a quorum tonight. I'm Carol Lisbon, Chair of the Planning Board. We have George Sidgwick
Here.
and Jody Shue
Here.
Vice Chair of the Planning Board. Okay, so we have a quorum. So as you said, John, we had a member of the board leave the town, and Val has been an associate member since 2021. So it is time for her to move up. Not
And
that
she's
it's
not
going to
here for us
change her
to
incredible
congratulate.
workload and dedication to the board, but it will allow her to actually take a vote. So I don't think Val needs much of an
Val has agreed to do
introduction.
this?
Hmm?
And Val has agreed to do this?
And Val
She
is
doesn't know
waiting,
we're
has
having
been
a
waiting
meeting.
years to do this.
And do we have somebody to be the new associate member?
So what we'll do this fall is start a public process
Excellent.
of receiving folks that are interested. And I'm actually putting something in the September newsletter that there will be a position opening, and we'll promote that and then go through the process. Basically, the same process that we used 3 years ago that brought Val on board as an associate member.
How
So
many
Carol, do you want to go first with the motion, or would you like the Board of Selectmen to go first with the Board of Selectmen's motion, or does it matter in terms of the order of how we do this?
Yeah, so I'm going to, Jody had a question first. So Jody, did you want to say
right.
something?
I was just wondering how many current members of the planning boards began as an associate member. Do you happen to know? Because I know it was me. George, were you an associate?
It's a great question. I was supposed to.
Yeah, and then there was like something happened kind of fast.
Right, yep, and then, so Bill Motley did move from associate to full.
Got it. Huh.
So, as we all know, it's, when the planning board requires, attention to detail in the law and rules and regulations. So I think the associate position is a very, very important one. But John, to your question, the planning board actually took a vote at its last meeting to make the recommendation. So Mike, I don't believe we need to take another vote. Is that correct, or do we?
No, so you will take a roll call vote as a combined two boards
Okay.
together tonight to make it official.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Well, I move to appoint Associate Planning Board member Valerie Lynn to the Planning Board as a full member to fill the the unexpired term of Scott Friedman ending May 19th, 2025, and ask for a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye, John Jeffries.
I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
I, Carol Lisbeth.
I, Jody Shu.
Hi, George Sidgwick.
And that is everyone. So moved. Valerie, I know you're going to watch this at some point in time. Thank you very much for doing this. And Jody and George, Carol, thank you for joining us this evening.
Great. Thank you very much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
You guys need to
Okay.
adjourn now
See
before
everybody
you
in a
go?
few minutes on the planning board meeting.
Are we going to
Oh,
jump
okay.
right on, or are we starting 5:30?
Do
Sorry.
you guys need to
5:15.
adjourn?
5:15.
We're starting 5:15.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Yes,
bye.
we should adjourn, Carol. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, I move that we adjourn the planning board meeting at 5:08 PM. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, George,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Carol, we. Okay, we're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Bonjour. Michael, we're going to move to your updates.
Sure. So I'll be brief. Just I think the selectmen are aware, but for the community's benefit, if you haven't traveled down Willow Street, you notice that you can't. We have started the Willow Street culvert replacement project. So there's a detour in place, and just thank people for their cooperation. I believe it's 120 days to completion. It started the beginning of August, so just so people have a sense of timing. You may have also saw we issued a press release earlier this month that we received a grant from the state to do some paving on Route 109. So it's kind of DPW night. So again, thank you to Kevin for his efforts there in acquiring that outside money to pay for paving here in Dover. And then actually the last DPW I'll say is I just want to congratulate Kevin. He received a Young Professional Summit nomination for New England. There are only 2 slots available for all of New England, and he was one of them. And that includes a paid participation in a National American Public Works Association conference down in Atlanta. I believe it's September. So just congratulations to Kevin. It's a good opportunity to network and what other young professionals, but also DPWs across the country are doing. Early voting is coming up soon. The state primaries on September 3rd, and early voting will start here at the Townhouse on Saturday, August 24th. It'll run through August 30th, which is a Friday. You can find more information on our website if you're interested in specific hours, as they do vary a little each day. And lastly, the state at the end of July did announce that there was positive West Nile virus mosquitoes in Dover. So just a good reminder for everybody, whether it's mosquitoes or ticks, to take precautions when you're out and about, put on some bug spray, wear long clothes, things like that. So just for an extra reminder for people to be aware.
Thank you very much. So, Michael, can we move? I'm just going back and the consent, we need to go to the consent agenda items.
Right. Yep, that's all you have left.
Terrific. All right. So, updates. And so One thing I just wanted to mention before we go to before we actually read the liquor licenses, most of the one-day liquor licenses are at either the Connor Center or at Elm Bank or in at Powissit. And the Connor Center in Dover is a beautiful, beautiful building. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with the history of it, but it was St. Stephen's Priory for many, many, many years. I don't know how long it was a priory, and the priory had one or two people that were there. The it was sold to Boston College, and a gentleman in Westwood, Jack Connors, a longtime just a benefactor of Boston College and an alumni of Boston College, donated the money to Boston College to purchase the building. And so the building was in disrepair. It required a lot of work. I don't know if any of you or anybody watching this has been in there recently. Obviously, we get lots and lots of requests for one-day liquor license, and Boston College uses it for remote access for teachers, for training. There's lots and lots of student activities that take place there, and it's used all the time for events. It's just a beautiful facility. And Jack Connors, the gentleman who put up the money, passed away last 2 weeks ago. Just a great, great, great guy. And it really, one of the things about it that is a bit unique is they came to Dover and they asked what we wanted back in when this first happened, because it's an incredible, valuable piece of land. It could have been so many things, and it's been just a great neighbor and a great participant to the town of Dover. So he had a lot to do with everything about it, and it's just was such an influential person, just such a great guy. For those who got to know him and meet him, and just he was a wonderful, wonderful guy. So Dover has we're really blessed to have such a great facility in town, and people utilize it a lot. So just a really a thank you to the Connors family and to Jack in his memory. So it's something that's going to have his name on it for hopefully forever. So we do have a whole lot of items that are going to take place at the Connors Center this month.
And
Yeah.
Elm Bank.
And Elm Bank. Yeah, and Elm Bank. So liquor licenses for the 16th, August 16th, 17th, 25th, 27th, 28th, 30th, September 1st, two on the 7th, the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. I move to approve the consent agenda as presented and ask for a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye, John Jeffries.
Aye, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
I'll stop by tomorrow and sign them.
Yes, I will not be able to
No,
get
you
back.
won't be able to get there. Dave and
I'll get there tomorrow and
Okay. If we don't get there, you know who will remind us.
As long as we have the two, we're good to go. We just need a quorum of signatures. So
Right.
it's fine.
Right.
That's great. Any other items, Michael, Chris,
Nope,
anything else?
That'll do it. Thank you all.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
at 5:16 p.m. ahead of schedule. And Robin, we haven't discussed the most important thing. Where is Sam Hunter taking you out to dinner this evening?
I don't know. Right now, Sam Hunter's in Haverhill.
Oh.
So I hope he makes it back in time.
You tell Sam Hunter that everybody on this meeting this evening has
I
moved
told
their
him that already. I said to him, Sam, you cancel on your parents and I'm going to look foolish.
And I also have to remind everyone that I know you're getting a lot of weather down there in God's country, but there's a Patriots game tonight in Foxborough.
Yeah,
The second
right.
preseason game.
Right. They were saying
Yeah, it's
that it,
not now. It's not.
well, no,
Oh,
they
yeah.
said it would clear up by the time,
The game
unless you're
along.
seeing something different, because they are so bad with the weather lately.
Well, I was just talking about literally looking outside is because bolts just keep dropping.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
If you can believe the weather app, they say rain for another 48 minutes.
Well,
There
that's
you
so precise. I'm going with it.
Okay. Don't,
Well,
and I always say, don't hold your breath.
Right.
yeah. Thank you all for shifting schedules around to accommodate Sam Hunter and Sam's wonderful evening that he's taking out his mom and dad tonight. So
Yeah, it's so nice of him.
so nice.
It is. And make sure he gets you cake for dessert. That's all I'm saying. So
It's not my birthday.
that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So I do have a rule. If there's lemon meringue pie, if there's key lime pie, there is no way I'm skipping dessert.
There you go.
Like my favorite, absolute favorite. So,
Sam's got some tall orders tonight.
There you go. So
and I don't think he cares. He likes chocolate, but for me, that's
key
it.
lime.
I am going to move to adjourn at 5:18.
I will second that.
All in favor? I, John Jeffries.
I, Robin Hunter.
Hi, Dave Haviland.
Well, from northern Quebec, au revoir.
Yeah, enjoy. John, is that the part of Quebec where they have the amazing strawberries?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it is remote, but there's farms, Robin, there's rivers and lakes everywhere, and it's just beautiful. It's
How are the Northern Lights?
Spectacular.
spectacular. If you just go out on the dock at night,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. It's
That's-
there's only residents. Like there's no hotels. The hotels and the tourists are in Mount Tremblant, which is an hour away, an hour south. So this is this is truly spectacular here.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely worth the trek. And Dave,
Yeah.
everywhere you look, there is hunting everywhere.
Well, if you're far enough north, you get into subsistence. Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
So they're hunting to feed themselves.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really beautiful.
Good.
Thank you all for doing this. Chris and Mike, thank you for moving your schedules around, and look forward to seeing everyone upon our return.
Hey, they get to go home early tonight too. All's
And
well.
if they wait 48 minutes, it won't be raining anymore. Just
All right,
saying.
everyone.
All right.
Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
night.
Thanks,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.
Au revoir.